It dates to about 1880. It's valued at about $300. Now, where do you keep it? Don's in shock. Where do you keep it? Do you? All the same size, or are they smaller? All the same size. No chips, no cracks. How many of you know how to identify whether or not you have a chip and a crack in a piece that's this delicate? Take your finger, close your eyes, rub your hand on the piece. Your hand will find the damage that your eye will miss. Your hand will find the damage that your eye will miss. Yeah, you might rip open your hand and bleed a little, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Because damage is a value indicator. If it's not in good condition, not worth as much. Fantastic, Don. It is the pièce de résistance, as they say in French. It's the best of the best, right? When it comes to what we're looking at with respect to these types of pieces. Now, Joyce brought this piece, actually a couple pieces of, again, American Brilliant Cut. Now let's talk a little bit about how we identify pieces of crystal. Everybody's talking about crystal, and a lot of people don't have any idea about crystal. Now the crystal market was very, very high in the early 20th century. We collected 50 and 100-year cycles. What that means is, when something approaches 50 years old, people like to collect it and it spikes in the market. When people collect something that's 100 years old, it also spikes in the market. So when I talk to financial planners, when I talk to insurance agents, when I talk to folks who are bankers, who are dealing with this idea of basically what do you schedule on your insurance policy, or what should you think about for wealth management, I always say, remember the 50, 100-year cycle. Because in fact, once something hits 50, it hits a milestone. Once it hits 100, it hits a milestone. So when you're thinking about what you want to collect, don't sell your item when it's 93 years old. Wait till it hits 100, because then the market spikes. Don't sell your item, your antique, when it's 40 years old or 46 years old, because you got to wait till it hits 50 for the market to spike. Right? So there are times when you want to sell and times when you want to buy. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But basically, when it comes to crystal, I want you to look at these pieces and I want you to understand the clarity of crystal. The definition of crystal, it has to be 24% or more lead content. So if this went through an X-ray, you would see it as basically looking like, in fact, a piece of metal, a piece of lead. And lead does a couple of things. First of all, it makes it heavy, okay? Lead content is important, it makes it heavy. The fact that it's heavy is also quite important. The other thing it does, it's clear. If you look through it, it's crystal clear. And that's where we get these kinds of phrases. All those funny little phrases that you use in your life all come from basically the idea of the antique world. You'd be surprised. Things like a stitch in time saves 9 comes from the better quality quilts have 9 stitches to an inch. A stitch in time saves 9. People go, I didn't know that's where it comes from. All those goofy things come from the antique world. Here's what we've got. We've got crystal. Now, people are tinging crystal. Ting, 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 ting. You hear it? It sounds good to you, it sounds bad to me, it sounds okay to you. It doesn't matter if you ting it. The tinging means nothing for quality. Okay? The tinging is something that actually started at weddings. The cheap people would sit in the back and they didn't want to come up front and give you a donate, give you some money. So they started tinging so you would kiss. This is a 19th century thing. So we all started tinging glasses thinking, well, that'll be good. That has nothing to do with anything. Anyway, this particular piece is a good example of American Brilliant Cut crystal. Now, one is of course called a hearth or floor vase. And that piece would sit on the floor with very, very high plants or flowers, like gladiolas. I'm not big on gladiolas, they remind me of funerals, but gladiolas, you know, they're really tall. Or even pussy willows, right, really tall. So you're going to see this actually on the floor, usually. Not typically on a table. If it's on a table, it's on a grand table. You know, one of those like, oh my gosh, we're going to the Vanderbilts for dinner. That kind of table, right? This particular piece dates during what is called the American Brilliant Cut glass, the height of that time period, circa 1920, circa 1925, value on it about $1,200. These are retail values based on a sales record where a similar piece has sold. It is worth that much because it's a rare form in excellent condition. One chip, one crack, one little inclusion, you're done for value. You gotta make sure it's perfect, and this one's perfect, so don't drop it in the parking lot on the way out. Now, where that one has a tremendously high value, very nice starburst pattern that puts this piece circa 1920 in upstate New York, right? This particular piece is a piece which has a different color to it. Do you see how this is more of a gray color? Okay, now you're looking for the pen and we gotta write it down, and Dr. Lori's giving me all this information, I'm not gonna remember anything. Oh my gosh, get the pen. Right? You got it, okay. So now this is different. This of course is a punch bowl. Now, sometimes called a rose bowl. Rose bowls are this size, punch bowls are this size. Remember, punch, in the history of punch, is a way to get everybody socializing. It's an inexpensive way in the 18th century, the 1700s, for the pirates to get rum together with fruit juice. The way in which we actually get punch. Punch is one of those social drinks. That's why you usually only see it as at, like the church sale, or maybe, in fact, at another, like a baby shower or such. This particular piece has a distinctively gray tone that this piece doesn't have. Lesser quality, where this probably has as much as 32 to 35% lead, this only has the 24% lead. So the higher the amount or percentage of lead, the higher the quality. So a piece of, for example, Waterford crystal might have as much as 32% lead in it. Heavier, higher quality, better clarity. That's what you're looking for with crystal. This piece dates to any time between the 1940s, right? This one is closer to World War II era. And value on this, because punch bowls have fallen out of favor, only about $400. Right? Now, do you have the glasses too? No. Just the bowl. So then what happens is a lot of people actually don't deal with or use the glasses. A lot of people actually put them in the center of a dining room table, for example, and they use it and they put their potpourri, and that kind of thing in it, or they put nothing in it. I'm a big advocate of don't put anything in these bowls. Nothing. Not your spare change, not a piece of lint out of your pocket, nothing. And the reason why is because they really can very easily get damaged. Guys like Rick are gonna put their spare keys in there. Oh, there my keys are always in that bowl. Don't do that.